Some people get in, chill out, and relax for an hour. Mm. If the phone stand would cooperate. All right. So I'm going to be crocheting a sweater today using Premier Parfait fruit roll. This one is the dragon fruit variety, and I'm going to be making the collar piece. Ooh, okay, that one decided to go goodbye. The collar piece to be black, and the cuffs and the pockets to be alternating pink and green, which color match is color matched. Let's just pull. Oh, I have a TV going just for me to have some kind of noise because I don't have. I need I always need some kind of noise stimulation because as when I was a baby and I was in the hospital, I kept tearing at my cords because the machines were very loud. So they had to take this little pink boom box, put it next to my little baby bed, and have it playing Disney music 24/7. The nurses hated it, but then again, it was 2000, the year 2000. What am I doing? This is going to be a modified version of the six-sided granny square sweater. It's going to be a bit more solid. Oh no, wait. I don't use the magic ring for this. So let me properly introduce myself. Sorry, I was trying to count in my head. My name is Jinx. I own Wickedly Cute Creations, which is a small business that sells crocheted plushies, sweaters, and it's going into um, clothing design because as I'm actively getting my costume design degree at San Francisco Academy of Arts University. I'm obviously not in San Francisco. I'm in Pennsylvania, and so I'm doing it online, which is, I believe, they're the only ones in the United States that offer an online service for the costume design degree. Because I did try because I am have a major chronic illness, so it's difficult for me to. It's actively right now difficult for me to go to a proper school, so I have to do it online, and it's fun. It's interesting. I'm used to online school because I went to cyber school before it was cool. before pandemic. I went to Agora Cyber Charter School, which is technically being homeschooled, but you're doing it public school online. So basically, you're doing Zoom calls on a blackboard that show PowerPoints, and and it's called a whiteboard slide. So it's PowerPoints, and then you're allowed to draw on it, and the students were allowed to draw on the board to answer questions and stuff. It was really interesting. The teachers really knew how to keep you engaged, even though I was actively reading the entire time and I was still getting decent grades. I was actually on honor roll. Well, I was supposed to go to a National Honor Society, but my parents were like, that might be too much for you because you already have a lot of anxieties right now, so that might not be good for you. I go, yeah, you're right. So I decided not to, but every single year they kept trying to get me in, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I already have enough anxiety being a ballerina and going up on stage when I had major stage fright at that point and no self confidence. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Not going on the honor society thing. 3, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, I'm used to being a cyber school student anyway, so this college program is really interesting. I even have my professor, who is my costume design professor from the spring semester. She is now my mentor. I'm her apprentice. I'm like, oh! Even though she's in San Francisco, she comes up frequently to Pennsylvania to live to go to Philadelphia because her one friend lives in there, and I met her up with her, and she offered me. I go, is it okay if we have a mentor apprenticeship thing? And she's like, oh my god, yes. So that's happening, and I'm in frequent contact with her, and I told her about me doing this live stream and going, because I said, hey, I'm avoiding my midterms right now by doing a live stream to give my brain a break for like an hour. She goes, I approve. I approve so much. Um, we're, yeah, we're, this is gonna be a fun apprenticeship thing. Um, I know it. She's awesome. She's laid back and chill, and um, she even described herself as a troll goblin, bridge troll. Some days I'm like, yeah, us costume designers, if money wasn't necessary, we would just accept payment in caffeine and shiny objects. And she goes, yeah, mood. Ask any cosplayer if money wasn't an issue. Many of us would just love being given a shiny object because crow brain, apparently. We're all corvids. That's it's funny. Um, I'm hoping to turn WikiLeaks Creations more towards um, a costume commission shop that also makes ready to wear clothing that's accessibility friendly because I have chronic illnesses that have me be an ambulatory disabled person, so I can't always dress myself properly with zippers and buttons, and so I rely on ties. And so I found a type of dress called Wa Lolita. It's a Japanese street style. Lolita dress was started in the 70s as a kind of movement against the over sexualization of women at the time, where in order to be an adult woman you had to show some sex appeal. And so but uh that a lot of women didn't like that. They wanted to still be feminine, like, and hyper feminine, girly and sweet and cute. So they took inspiration from those Victorian China China dolls that are filled with lace and frills and ruffles and had those big bonnets that I love. I love a good bonnet. And they made themselves up into these doll clothing, and it's very Western European themed. But later on, Walulita became a where they reincorporate kimono and hari and the proper traditional dresses uh, back into it, because it is a Japanese fashion that was inspired by a European fashion, and then which then got inspired by Japanese fashion again. So it's a full circle moment. And so um, I was inspired by that, because literally it would just be a kimono top, a wrap kimono top that is secured by the waistband of a circle skirt and a belt over top called the obi. And that's really simple for me. And so making that and then making them inspired by characters, uh, making them able to be worn out in public and just be inspired by characters. If someone or just ran a regular clothing fabric, just simple colors or pattern fabric, that can also um, really be cute. Mix and match patterns and regular colors for the top and the skirt and the belt. Um, uh, so that would be cool to have those be for ready-made, while in between costume commissions, because as much as I would love to be a union worker and work on film and theater, with my I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which means my health is always random, and there are times when, just like in last July, I was sick for 6 months. So in the middle of July until December 6th, I was bedridden by immense pain in my abdomen, to the point where I couldn't walk because it was in my pelvic floor, and it turned out to be scar tissue all over my organs. And so that's just random health problems for you with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Um, so I would have to do commission-based work instead of union-based, which I'm a little upset by, because even though you have to be careful with whatever union you're going into, because sometimes they take advantage, or sometimes they don't protect the employee like they should. You can't be going on to have a film contract or a theater contract and be sick for however many days out, because there's typically a set amount of days. So let's say there's 30 days and I can't be sick for 10 of those days. I will, even though I will be most likely doing as much as I can. Sometimes it's impossible to do it from home unless you have the actors parading into your house and just being like, "Hey," and you do it from your bed, which would be very odd. Just be at the edge of the bed, lean over, and just do all the things and have weird measurements. That'd be weird. Oh, let's scooch that over. There we go. Um, so, I'm just trying to think of what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. Um, I have the 911 show on that from where they're in California, and a bunch of it has Bobby, Buck, Chimney, Hen, and I can't remember the Eddie, that 911 show. And it's a second season episode where they are helping a shark, which is uh, I don't I don't think, even though if you're dousing it in water, it's not going to survive because with buckets, I don't think that's how sharks work. So these sweaters take up about two of these each side, because you work at it in a six-sided granny square, and then it turns into this um, kind of little sweater thing, so you can kind of see how it would turn into a sweater. And then what I do is I make 2 or 3 rows along the back. What I decide which piece I decide to make the back piece, and then I sew those two together along the back, and then I create the border. Um, and oh, what was I gonna say? The border is usually one of these, because each side takes up 2 of these little drums of yarn, and so there's none left for the border. So I had to get scan the Premier Parfait out and create the border, because you just get enough to zip up the side of the sleeve and then do the cuff, and then that's it. You get only like a teeny tiny little golf ball size amount left. Oh, why did I choose this chair? There is a um, air vent along the edge of the floor. Excuse me, woke up at 3 a.m. today. Perks of chronic illness. Um, and so I can't put my legs down, because with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, you get cold incredibly quickly. So you're temperature sensitive, because you get extremely heat sick, or you get pain from the cold. And so um, I'm always bundled up, even in summer. So I have longer kind of capri length pants on, and t-shirts, and then have a hoodie or wrapped around my waist, usually waist. What? Hey, my brain is being weird again. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, well, I freaked my dad out the one time because not freaked him out. Because I was awake at 3 a.m. But I was excited to get working on my sewing project. It was a personal sewing project, not for school. And I decided to at 7 a.m. to tiptoe out to my living room area and just start cutting fabric. And then at approximately 9:30, he walks out to the kitchen because it's all one big long open concept. So the living room wall is over there, and it goes all the way back, one open space into the kitchen. Um, it's not a big. It's a very open concept ranch house. So it's a two-floored house just set on side by side. So it's a very long ranch house. And he just starts laughing. I go, "What?" And he goes, You're so excited." Uh, Excuse me. I hurt my arms on Sunday, overextending them, so now my joints are swollen. So I have to rub at them for a bit. Um, yeah, he goes, "You," and I go, "What? You're actually excited because it's being sick." I developed Ehlers-Danlos syndrome when excuse me. Sorry about that. I was making sure I didn't receive a text from my sibling because he's in charge of dinner tonight. Developed my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome when I was 21, and as a ballerina, it killed me because my body went into shock and I temporarily lost the ability to walk independently. I could still walk. Um, I just needed to walk along surfaces, so I had to walk along tables and put my weight on the tables or walk with crutches, but I couldn't stand independently or walk independently because my body was just not um, cooperating because it was just in so much shock that my legs kept giving out. Um, and I was just became depressed because I couldn't do anything. I was just sat in a chair watching TV while stuck at home. And it's worse because um, I was home alone the entire time. But even though my parents would come home eventually from work, it was just I'm sat in the chair with no other choice but to watch TV and just or sleep, take a nap. I got real tired of that. And I kind of just stopped. Eventually, I just not stopped. I just stopped being happy. Really, just casually trauma dumping on my first live stream ever. That's how you do it. Um, I had to actually drop out of community college um, because I was my last semester, um, and I had only 3 classes to take, and I would have graduated my associate's degree, but I got so sick that I just was unconscious and in so much pain, and that I couldn't think, and I was delirious. So I had to just step away from it. It was community college, so it was cheap. Community, I compared to like an actual college. Well, community college is college, but not as prestigious. So it doesn't they don't have the prestige, so it's not as expensive. Um, yeah, and then um, months later, years later, in 2024, I found the San Francisco Academy of Arts University um, program because I was looking up uh, costume design degrees that can be done online, and they seem to be the only ones that really do stuff like that online. Because the other stuff is certification for um, display management, or certifications for all these sorts of things that, yes, theoretically, a costume design degree could fit under that category, but I'm like, eh, because sometimes you have to, for the costume, you have to dress the set, and you have to know how to dress the set so that the costume looks correct and well. And um, uh, it was just life changing, really, because even though my first semester was kind of a train wreck because I was bedridden from scar tissue pain, literally so much scar tissue on my organs that it was a lot. It was a lot. I have pictures. um, and so in my spring semester, it went very well, save for my art history through the 15th century class. But she was one of those professors where she only clarifies what she wanted after you submit the freaking essay. And you're like, are you kidding me? You couldn't have told us this when we were doing the project or when you assigned it? And she said, and I legitimately didn't say anything to her about it because I didn't want to get even more on her bad side. Sorry. Ugh. I went to the gym for the first time in years on Sunday, and I overextended my joints, and now they're really swollen, and so my elbows hurt so bad. they're so swollen. I gotta get those. I'm wearing compression gloves right now. I'm kind of Michael Jacksoning it right now because the way I hold my yarn is odd, so I can't wear the other glove because it doesn't slide nicely. The stuff because it's Chanel, so it doesn't slide over uh, this cotton. So the way I hold my yarn is a bit difficult with this. So for crocheting, I take my left glove off. I don't live in them, but I should at least sleep in them a lot, especially during the summer because I have to consume so much salt that I get swollen and swelling hurts the joints and stuff. But I've seen ones that have these grips on them for I think it's for athletes, and they go all the way up to the bicep area. I was thinking about getting them just to kind of help holding my joints and my elbows in place to prevent the overextension because I was at the bicep curl machine. Yeah, the bicep curl machine where you put your arm on a plate and you pull your like that. Um, and and even though I wasn't doing much weight, I got pulled slightly down, so I was slouching, and so my elbow was just off of the edge of the plate, and it caused it to overextend. And I'm like, oh, that's not fun. That is not fun. It's not. I keep dislocating my joints. Uh, I keep my right shoulder. I do it in my sleep because I sleep because your head's the heaviest part of your body, and I sleep with my arm up on my pillow, and so with my head like this, it kind of just causes it to click out of place, and so I have to click it back into place. It's not a sublux where it's just partially edged out of the joint. It's like out, and I have to just that to get it back in. My kneecap loves to slide out of place. I believe it's the right knee more than my left knee. A doctor I went to who examined me for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, he put both of his thumbs on the side, on either side of um, my kneecap, and he just put a decent amount of pressure with just his thumb onto it, and it slipped out of place. I'm like, ew, ew, ew. Why? It feels like a turtle shell. It feels like there's a turtle shell under the muscle, and I hate it. Don't ever do that. No. Ugh. It feels just revolting. The worst dislocation I can recommend. Ugh. Once again, sorry for yawning. I woke up at 3 a.m. because I was having a lot of pain. And so, Diggerland? Um, Wait, I thought that was only in the UK. I, that's weird. That's weird. I woke up last night and I don't know what time it was, but I woke up and decided, oh, I need to have a s'more. I don't want a s'more, but I need to have one. And I'm like, what? But looking back at it, I'm just thinking, what possessed me for that? Did I get possessed by a demon who wanted s'mores? S'mores demon? So, yeah, I was actually shocked because because I microwave my s'mores since I don't have. Oh no, I do have the gas stove. Um, so I can do that again because I love my marshmallows being crispy, like slightly burnt at the edges, kind of crispy. Um, and so you can only get that with an open flame though, so it sucks. Um, and so I'm after years of just badgering and badgering. Um, I lost my train of thought. We moved our house into moved from our house into this ranch style because I was having difficulty with the stairs and all the bedrooms were upstairs and we had no rooms that we could convert into a bedroom for me, but um yeah, sure. Uh let's move, and we moved in this place and I'm like, it feels like an Airbnb. It's not that I didn't want to move, I wanted to move. I just like, this I don't like this house. And yeah, currently living in an Airbnb technically because if you look at our house, it gives Airbnb vibes that are um mixed with live laugh love crap. Sorry I'm not crocheting, it's just my arms are hurting so bad. Um I'll get, I think I'm gonna have to end this 20 minutes early just because I'm not feeling okay. We've been having a lot of storms recently, and if you know anyone with a chronic illness, storms exhaust the crap out of people because of the pressures. It's the air pressure lowers or grows, and our bodies are used to being at one set of pressure. And considering that we have our sensitivities cranked up to 11, it makes sense because it's our heightened sensitivity is then irritated because we have a different pressure that we need to stabilize to, and then uh, and yeah, we're just exhausted because we have so much pain going on and our adrenaline spikes and everything kicks into action because of the stormy weather or overcast weather because it's cold and it's pressurization of the air, it makes it so much worse. And it honestly makes sense if you were a kid and you'd always feel sleepy from being out and about in a storm, no matter what the weather. It makes sense because I used to be like that, and I usually get sleepy in the aftermath. So after the storms are completely gone and over with and everything's dried up. Oh, and there's our time. Tune in next week for whatever the heck I want to talk about, and for the sweater update. Bye.